Well, we're not ready yet, but
Oh,
we will have it flow.
well then I'll just sit here and wait
Go
until you
ahead,
tell me
Troy.
when to do stuff.
Okay, we should be live.
Neat! Hi everybody, I'm MunchaKoopas. I'm going to show you a bunch of bugs in this game. To start off, this isn't necessarily a bug, but as Moo Moo mentioned earlier, you can kill one of these birders if you try hard enough.
If you truly believe.
Any moment now.
Oh my god. These are the ultimate Steves.
I'm so happy that you're showing this off first.
Oh, I didn't get my gold. Alright, jokes aside, let's get into the actual meat of why we're here. So, start off simple in Shovel Knight's campaign. So I just need to get to a very specific spot here in Lich Yard first, and then I can show off the first things. I forgot how to play the video game. That's okay. We're almost to where I need to be. Alright, so Chaos Sphere normally does not go through a wall, bounces off of it, right? But if you notice, it spawns like in front of Shovel Knight. So in certain spots, like this one, you can throw it through the wall. And the reason this works is because there is a seam in the collision there, and meaning that that is 2 points where two different pieces of collision have met. And if you come across such a line, or you come across a single tile gap type collision, you can also place the orb there. You can also place it in these spikes as an example. So if I go way over here, it's a little difficult to do, but there we go. Yeah, you can do all kinds of trick shots and stuff with that.
They're just stuck in the spikes.
So next I'm going to go to Stranded Ship for one of my favorites, which I show off a lot.
Oh, I think I know this one.
Alright, so if you played Shovel Knight, you know that you can't hit this statue off the bottom of the screen. Observe. Like, it won't go any lower, even if I stand on it. It does not go below. But, if I hit it against this wall specifically a few times, it will eventually go off screen. And yes, it only works on that wall. Let's see, what next? Next, I actually need to go into a Spectre Knight file for a couple of things. So first up, I have to play through most of the Iron Whale. And I need this armor.
What armor do we have on right now?
Striker's Shawl.
I thought so. Okay, I couldn't tell if we had a color code on or not.
Nope, it's actually got a really cool color scheme by itself. Makes you look like a jack-o'-lantern.
I'm so used to using color cheat codes that I kind of forgot the color palettes that they're normally at.
It's because I know how to have fun. It's a good thing he's not using the color cheat code, though, for this. It'd make it a lot more difficult to tell. Would be way more of a surprise. This is a fairly standard Iron Whale, although you have Judgment Rush, which makes it a little more interesting.
Almost to where I need to be.
I await with bated breath, my dude.
Same. Is it past 420 fish?
It is.
I mean, 420 is quite the looker.
There's probably an interesting quick kill here with having the striker shawl and bounding souls.
I would assume that at best you would have a charge slash ready to go, but that would be it.
Alright, did I accidentally pick the wrong patch for this? Or did this
So
only
where
have-
are we and what are we doing?
There we go. Alright, so if you attack this projectile at a specific time, Spectre Knight will move
What the
upward, but do the downward pose for the slash.
What is... okay.
Enchantress
I saw that.
You know, I saw you do
also
it once.
exhibit this. It's very difficult.
This seems like one of those things that someone submitted to you and you had to spend like an eternity getting it to work.
Nope, I noticed it and then replicated it a moment later.
Or
Of
that.
course.
There we go.
It looks so
There
weird.
it is. Ooh, 2 in a row. That is... What is that? I wish we could do that on purpose. The only other time I've ever seen anything like that happen is when you're doing a dash attack against wind.
But yeah.
Explode said it's like he's tripping on something in midair.
Alright, now back to the tower for another one as Mr. Spooky Man.
Oh man, I hope this is another one that I think I know of.
Only one I can think of in the tower is the one that the one I saw the Tass use at one point.
I mean, there is Spectre Goes to the Moon, but there's another one that's also. I think it's been patched out because I tried to show it once on stream. Oh, what?
What is happening?
Oh, I have infinite. I have the upgraded, like super upgraded feather from a cheat code that I needed specifically for this trick.
Oh,
Okay.
Why I didn't just give myself, you know, infinite everything, I don't know. But yeah.
No, not cheat code. Can I have this one?
yeah.
Yeah, so
We-
it turns
we
out
both
feather
thought this was the glitch.
feather will move you in any direction you choose, even downward. Any rate, so this room, as you can see, is full of blocks and stuff. Full of it. And now it's not.
Yeah. Yep. Oh. Okay.
Where are we?
Where are the skulls? Where's the dinner?
Oops, I died. Well, yeah. Luckily I already showed off the thing. So that is fixed internally, so I won't work after King is out. But yeah, there was a... It's due to the way they arrange collision, and there were certain pieces of collision there that allowed you to stand. And so, for whatever reason, right there you could initiate the screen transition, and it caused you to zip upward, and then it reloads that room without anything in it.
Of course.
Alright, now I need to go into Play God mode. I don't know which one that is. I think it's this one.
I think
Oh,
you'll find
boy.
out pretty quickly.
It's this one. Okay, good. So, we're gonna be in Play God mode for a little bit.
I hear the words play God mode. I know I'm gonna get a good glitch.
First, he's already showing off one of my favorite things, which is whenever you burst after spin burst, you go really fast.
Yeah, when in God mode, when you use a burst after Fleet Flask, for some reason it sets your speed to what I assume is the game's maximum. And yeah, it does a lot of interesting things to your physics, which I'll show off in a bit here. For one, actually I can show off some now. Let me get to a slightly more straight away. Alright, so for one, you can turn around the other way and go super slow, or you can stop in place, or you can moonwalk.
Okay.
Alright, so, no, I need to do... Yeah, I need this way.
Oh man, good luck with this one.
Oh wait, I think I know what you're
Alright,
doing.
so if you do this while entering a few boss rooms, you'll enter the boss and say hello, and then you'll leave.
It's gonna ease
Alright.
on out of here.
And now Mole Knight is having a conniption. And he's actually invincible. There's an invisible wall right here. So yeah. No matter what I do, he will not die. Mole Knight is invincible. The strongest of the Order of No Quarter.
Jesus Christ!
So yeah, that is the distance, the max distance that Mole Knight can go. If you, so it, yeah, with the developer cheat mode, they have this like fly cheat mode, which they've shown off on stream, so I can talk about that function at least without getting fired. But fun fact, if you kill Mole Knight and then use that thing to get out of, like into this room as the moles carry him away, the moles actually stop in like just before where Mole Knight is now, and then that's where they stop. when the level ends. Anyway, on to some other levels where we can do some fun things.
All hail Moon Knight!
Oh drat, I need to... Okay, auto-scroller hype, but we're gonna go through this auto-scroller real quick because I'm bad.
It's a shame that we can't show off stuff like this at the marathon.
I know, well, everyone loves collecting gold, right?
Yes, I too love gold. Why don't you give us a nice dance while you're at it?
There it is.
Behold my jubilance!
Basket of glory.
Ooh, I realized there was an interesting opportunity for a possible soft lock there. Now I wish I had that back. Oh well.
Oh boy.
So,
Please, continue.
now we must go to Pridemore Keep to perform some maneuvers. So, fun fact, just about the level design in this level, or the layout, is that if we found a way to get out of bounds from the Flare Wand room, and move to the right, we would actually be in the room with the second music sheet. But we're not finding any way out of bounds. I've made sure of that.
It is his job.
I tried everything.
That's interesting.
That and this engine actually handles collision really well.
Yeah, I don't think there would be a way to safely do that. Like, even if you could remotely get, through the death plane, there's like a pretty solid wall there, even in God mode.
Yeah, alright, so first thing is that if you go back down this ladder, and then do the Fleet Flask burst thing at a certain time, you can actually get ahead of the camera.
Oh!
Okay.
Okay.
Do it again in case anybody missed it. Oops. This is actually harder to do than I make it look. Like, this one requires really weird timing. Try it one more time. Alright, so now we continue. We're gonna do the same thing again and on King Knight.
Jesus Christ!
We're fighting a Griffin and King Knight at the same time.
He came out looking for blood. Oh my god.
Oh yeah, you can see that the horns are actually loaded on the other side of the room or whatever. And you can get some of the
Wait.
confetti to come into whatever room you're in.
King Fetty follows all. You cannot escape the King Fetty.
King, he back. He attack.
Just wait down here a moment. Yeah, here comes some more.
Will he follow you down here?
No, he will not actually follow you down here, but the next time he does that, yeah, the trumpets will just follow you from room to room.
No King Knight, but
Oh, hey! I got him to spawn down here somehow. That's interesting. I've never done that before.
Jesus Christ!
Huh. I guess he found a way out. That's interesting. Oh well, on to the next
In and
level.
out of screen.
Yeah, so King Knight unfortunately has no collision with the death pits, so he will actually just be falling forever, and I cannot finish the level then.
Jump Scare Knight is right. I was like twice in the same trick.
Yeah, he
The
sneaks up
King
on
of
you.
Tartarus.
I have you now! Alright, so... Don't mind me, I just have to blow everything up.
Oh, speaking of things that are coming up, I believe our next run will be an interesting cheat code for Spectre that makes it so he plays like Mega Man.
Yes, this is a cheat code that was revealed to us via Twitter at one point.
I personally can't stand this mode because I'm just so used to the way Spectre controls normally. So it's kind of a death sentence for me. I remember I did a race of that with with Tolu once. Oh boy, I can
What are
see
you
that
trying
much
to
of
do?
the.
What is that?
Uh-oh.
What is going to happen?
You got the thing.
Oh, okay, okay.
That's part of it. Nothing weird happens there other than like if you do all of that stuff when like you open a chest, it as I'll show you again with Plague. Oh, I need to open that. Oh dang. As soon as I kill this fish. Okay. Camera weirdness. Alright, so I need to
Just gonna go back.
yeah.
Are you gonna do that treasure chest slide thing again?
Yes.
Oh boy.
Yo, it's almost as amazing as a strut with purpose, honestly. What's in the box? Oh, we're still going.
Yeah, so when you do that, it essentially, even though you turn around, your momentum is still so far, like, it swings so far to one direction that for some reason the game decides to continue moving you in the initial direction, which is why I end up moving when I open the chest. At least that's how I rationalize it. Here's something that's used for 100% is you can get up into this room without having to enter the previous one because there's no blockers down there. What I mean by blockers is that it's specific collision that only interacts like, so I'm in this room here with all the Mantars and stuff, right? And even though I could like clearly use my staff of surging to like get into the next room and land on a platform, there's collision in place that does not allow Plague Knight to get there, and that exists in most rooms for all characters. However, in certain spots like that one I just showed off, or these ones right here, there's generally not a way for any character to get up here. Plague Knight can still do this with VATS through normal gameplay. But yeah, there's no blockers in either of those previous two rooms, so I skip this room with the missile platforms, and I skip... Actually, no, it's just that one. But yeah. And there's a couple of spots you can do that throughout the game, most notably here and in Flying Machine. Those ones are used in New Game Plus. One more bug in this level, and then I have the final two that I wanted to show off.
Excellent.
This one I'm doing the same thing I've done for the last ones, and then if I'm lucky I'll be able to do some fun stuff with Treasure Knight.
Peace.
This doesn't really get old.
This is watching him moonwalk out of the screen.
Where's Plague?
Where are we going?
Where's Plague? Where's Plague?
This is fine.
Okay.
The fun part is Muncha actually knows where he is currently.
Muncha, where?
I kinda
Okay.
know. So ideally I would have actually gotten back into the room with all of the Herm attacks, the crabs, before the missile that leads to Treasure Knight. That's where I would really want to be, because that's like the perfect way to bait Treasure Knight into a room you don't want him in. But it's really hard to time, and so ideally I'd be like fighting him out in this room, and he's actually able to move around in these two rooms and stuff. But if not, you just come back here, and he's still just stuck in the corner, so you can still kill him. So like I can.
Oh.
Yeah, so-
Oh.
Yep. I think I've seen you do this glitch once before.
So yeah. All right. So 2 more bugs that I want to show off. One of them is one more God mode shenanigan bug with Shovel Knight, actually.
And it looks like Pickles for Nickels just got back. Good timing.
This involves the Battletoads. Pardon me. So this is God mode, so I won't die to anything. And this is the rematch of the Turbo Tunnel for anyone that's never seen it. You pay one of the Toads 200 gold to then play a minigame. And in God mode, well, so let me back up. In normal mode, when you get to the end of this section, you're supposed to jump from like each thing to the other thing on your bike. In God mode, you don't have to jump, and I'll just let it speak for itself.
Okay.
But
Where
where are we going?
So you see the shadow, and you see Shovel Knight bouncing.
Yep.
What's actually happening is that his sprite is being separated from his collision, because the sprite is programmed to fall, but the death pits are turned off by God mode, so the game does not know how to process where to put the sprite. So my collision is actually still tied to my shadow, so I can only move within like the confines of this area. But my sprite is no longer attached to my collision, and it will just constantly be trying to recorrect itself and falling off the bottom of the screen. And so depending on where I move the shadow, you won't be able to see much of Shovel Knight. Pushing any button other than movement will fix this and reattach the sprite with the collision. But if you keep it in this state until the very end of the minigame, the minigame will never end, and Shovel Knight will just ride off into the cave forever.
Yay. So, are we gonna hit the ending soon?
Yes.
Can we get a soldier salute for Shovel Knight as he rides off into the distance?
So now I will play as the Hole from Looney Tunes, which gets very excited when approaching an edge of something.
It's a hole with exclamation points.
It's an excited hole.
So, yeah, normally when you hit that, for some reason the only checkpoint in this area that's tied to Shovel Knight's sprite instead of his collision is the last one, and so now if I push jump, I'm back in place, and this cave will never end. So if you want like a nice way to get a Shovel Knight screensaver, until the next update is out, you could just perform this bug,
Cool.
and then you could just leave this running on a monitor, and that will be your screensaver, is Shovel Knight riding through the Turbo Tunnel for all eternity.
It's very mode 7.
Yeah.
Alright, one
Yes.
more.
You go to the void. Oh boy, a co-op glitch. Okay.
First things first, just gonna make movement a little bit easier on myself.
Bye. You'll come back at some point, I assume.
Yes, I will need him later. Forgive me, but we must sit through half of a flying machine IL.
It's okay. You're actually good at this character.
Oh neat, I got the mini-boss quick kill I invented. Or rather the form the people use, rather. Anyway.
Yeah, the neitherless dinghy dropper kill. Good stuff.
Okay, we're back to 2-player.
Okay.
What are we gonna do?
Alright. So if you use the fishing rod there...
Where are we go? What?
You fishing rod there, and there's just the smallest bit of collision to where you can then walk into the screen transition. And then with 2 players active, because of the way it warps you around, it actually constantly places you from one transition to another. If you do this single player, don't ask how I did that in single player, but if you do this in single player, you just fall into a pit and die after changing screens. But in co-op, this happens.
Are we stuck?
Yeah, I could move to the left and fix this, or I could pause the game if I mash pause, and eventually it'll get there. But yeah, for all intents and purposes, otherwise you are stuck here.
What a nice screensaver.
Yeah, this is a good screensaver.
One time, I just left this going on my screen when I went to lunch, and I hoped that it didn't really cause anyone any stress. I really just wanted people to go like, huh, that's not supposed to be doing that.
Just messing with the entire community. It's like, hey, how's our QA tester doing?
Remind me to never
Oh.
go fishing with Shovel Knight because he's apparently going to tie me to his anchor and throw me into the abyss.
Yeah, he used player 2 as bait.
But yeah, that's all the bugs I've got for today.
Thank you so much.
I hope you all enjoyed.
Well, with that, let's start setting up for our next run.